This is Zulu24. My name is Phil, and welcome to my crib. Here comes the pain! Guys, this is one of our CQB areas. It has 28 buildings. It takes about the area of 1.5 football fields, reminiscent of what you would find in the Middle East. Buildings of life-size construction. We'd see this in Fallujah. The shots here are anywhere between 75 and 50 feet. Extremely challenging, guys. Have to have your head on a swivel. Center of town, which is where we are here, it's going to go through a change in the next couple of months. We're going to be adding another 10 buildings. You're going to have to be really on your toes to get around in the buildings. Most of the buildings have 1 or 2 ways in, multiple windows, some have tunnels. Let's get out to the helicopter crash site. Zulu24 is about 132 acres. It takes the area of about 1 mile long by about ½ a mile wide. Helicopter crash site was a direct lift from Black Hawk down. We have a 3/4 scale Black Hawk plowed into the side of the ground. Multiple places where you have to get intel out of. Pilot has multiple places to hide. So if you're in that scenario, you probably have to medic the pilot and evac him. Coming up on the Black Hawk site, we chose this area because a big down tree went down, so it kind of looks realistic where the Black Hawk plowed into the tree. You can start to make out the shell of the Black Hawk in black in the little valley ahead of us. It's about 26 feet long, about 8 feet, 9 feet wide. Let's get up to the oil rig. Oil rig's a pretty interesting place. A lot of the Middle East encompasses oil rigs, oil towns, oil warehouses. We created an area called Oil City. It has a 32-foot oil derrick. It has multiple pipes and valves. It even has a self-destruct bomb built into it. 4 warehouses. Depending on if you're attacking or defending, you're trying to hook up the lines while you're getting shot at, and trying to get stop the bomb from going off. The bomb is a computerized panel. You have to find 4 keys that are hidden on the field and plug it in to stop the timer from going off. Terrain, not that bad. A lot of good cover. Coming up on the oil rig, you can start to see the oil rig come up out of the distance. This is the beginning of Oil City, or something we call the oil rig. Lots of barrels, hoses, the self-destruct bomb is in the bottom of the oil rig. See a lot of these pipes that are color-coded. Hidden around the field are plastic pipes anywhere from 50 to 75, 80 feet long, color-coded. Some of the pipes weigh up to 80 pounds. You have to drag them around, hook them up in the right order, get the pumps to pump. There's the bomb. It's a stoplight so everybody can see where it's at. Got to plug the 4 keys into the toolbox. Once you plug all the keys in, lights all go out, you save the day. Let's go back to the river. We have a bridge crossing a small creek with an homage to a Eastern style village. We're about halfway through the field right now. We have about ½ a mile in front of us. We've come about ½ a mile. We can park up to 400 cars. We have a picnic area that can hold easily 150 people with picnic tables. We have barbecues that teams have left behind. All you do is to bring the propane bottle, hook in, barbecue. In the wintertime, there's a fire pit. Keep us warm. We play all year round. The only thing we really don't play in is heavy rain or heavy snow. If you play in the winter, bring your whites. You'll need them. Here's the Zulu Bridge. Just beyond it is the Zulu Village. This is an interesting area. On that side, you have 32 acres of swamps. On this side, you have about 15 acres of swamps. There's only one way to attack it, either over the bridge and through the river, or from the back side. It's a pretty challenging place to be. Let's take a swing down to the drug lab. We have a Latin American style drug lab that I'd like to share with you guys. It's pretty hard to get lost. All the trails are marked, and you can actually see where everybody walks. Here's the beginning of the swamps out this way. So if you feel like doing the Rambo thing, be my guest. The actual parcel of property is rectangular in shape. On the northbound side, we're bordered by 208, so if you get hit by a tractor trailer, you're out of bounds. On the left-hand side, we're bordered by Tolman Road, which is also our entrance, 586 Tolman. If you wind up in my neighbor's pool, you're out of bounds. On the back side, where we just left by the village, if you look up and there's power lines above your head and you're in a big field, you're out of bounds. And about a half a mile that way, if you wind up in my other neighbor's pools, you're out of bounds. Let's take off to the drug lab. We'll cut through the swamps. Right now the swamp's a little dry, so we can cut through it relatively easily. In the rainy season, there'll be about 2 to 3 inches of water where I'm actually walking. Just enough to make it a pain in the neck. This is the drug lab. It's an interesting place. The drug lab has a couple key features. It has its own sniper's tower that was built this last summer. If you can get a sniper up in the top of that tower, he has about 150 to 200 foot radius around the drug lab. One good sniper could keep a whole platoon pinned down. We also built our own jail cell. We figured for a lot of the scenarios that come out of Latin America, where they take prisoners, it would be a perfect key element that we could add to the game. And there's our jail cell, basically underneath the sniper's tower. The drug lab is an interesting building. It's actually about 3 buildings that are cobbled together with different hallways. Let's take a run through it. Pretty challenging. You have shooting ports that allow you to actually look about 120 degrees. Okay. This is the main room, the drug locker, and this is the puzzle board. You have to come up with the right sequence of switches to disarm the bomb. So, good luck with the clues you find along the way. Out this way about a quarter mile is an airport that's under construction. Before hangars and a small Cessna with its own little airstrip, like a bush plane type setup to get people in and out quickly. Let's take off behind me and we'll cruise up to past the helicopter that we passed on the way in, and we'll cruise up to the radio tower. We're only 2 miles from Stewart, the reserve base. On a regular basis, we have people come down from the base and actually play with us. Most Saturdays and Sundays, we're treated to a Galaxy doing touch and goes right into their field. It's amazing how big the plane actually is and how nimble it really is. We actually see them open up the doors, drop the gear, and actually go into Stewart for a touch and go. Amazing. field's been set up for a game that requires the guys to gather these blue buckets. This is a totally interactive field. We have 8 buckets hidden around the field or placed around the field. 4 blue ones, 4 orange ones. This is fuel for their helicopters. So they have to gather their fuel, stop the enemy from gathering their fuel, lift off and extract the team. Not as easy as you think, because they can put a sniper camped on that bucket, and obviously if you get hit, can't touch and carry the bucket. Not an easy thing to do. Each bucket weighs about 45 pounds. This is a really rough area of the field. It's really, really dense. It's tough for guys to push through there. Some of it's swamp. If you look out there, you see a great swamp out there too. Some guys will elect to go through the swamp before they'll take on the thickets in there. Just on the other side of here is the UN, and beyond that is the radio tower that we'll head up to. You can actually see the Black Hawk in the distance. We're going to try to push through the thick swamps. Try to follow along and keep up, guys. It ain't easy. There's another fuel drum. That one's a little trickier. That weighs close to 150 pounds. They have to move that and fuel their helicopters. Out to there, you see the new UN that was purposely built for an upcoming op this October. It's reminiscent of what you would find in the Middle East for a UN compound. Really difficult to clear. Let's walk on down there. Okay guys, this is the UN. It's reminiscent of what you would find in the Middle East. It's going to be a neutral compound. We're going to start adding new elements to our games where we can have spies and diplomats going in and out. This has 3 or 4 buildings, depending on how you want to classify the buildings. It's not done. This is what we started building yesterday. Let's walk through it. It's going to be a nightmare to clear this one. Little tiny corridors that basically you can get one guy through here. Doors, you don't know what's around the corner. You don't know where one of these panels will pop open for a door. Okay, we're out on this side. Okay, this will be a building, but interestingly enough, access is from the inside with gun slits. Go around the back side of the building. We're gonna have a double perimeter fence around it, just like you would find. So when you're coming in, you would check in here through a window, and then you would start coming down hallways. Again, you better start practicing right-handed and left-handed shooting, because you're looking down a really, really long corridor. Multiple doorways. What's gonna happen here is here's gonna be a doorway into that storage room, and we're gonna build a machine gun nest right out here with a hatch right in here. So the only way to get these guys is to actually take the UN. It's gonna be challenging. Over the wall. Come on, guys. This is gonna be a doorway. It's gonna be staggered. So you can't come running right down, because you'll be zigzagging in between walls with a guardhouse out at the top. This is one of the 2 highways in Zulu24. We have 2 going this way, and we have 2 going this way to carve up the field. Let's go up to the comms tower. Off to our left, you see another one in a fuel bucket that they have to find, one of the blue buckets. Off in the distance, you start to see the comms tower coming into view. Comms tower is an interesting place. It's filled with a lot of electrical gizmos, computers. networking stuff, a generator, all kinds of wonderful things. Interestingly enough, you might have to call for an airdrop of a generator. Find it, drag it over here, and hook it up. The generator weighs about 150 pounds. You'll see satellite dishes, switches, electrical gear. So yeah, if you have to extract, this is probably where you're going to send your message from. Hey guys, thanks for stopping by. Hope to see you soon.